We live in a world of baffling complexity. Borders seem increasingly irrelevant. The internet connects us instantly, while global challenges like climate change and pandemics ignore those same lines on a map. It's enough to make your head spin, really. We're more connected than ever, yet solutions to our biggest problems can feel impossible. Countries bicker and point fingers. Meanwhile, the planet heats up, viruses spread, and economic inequality widens. Something's got to give, right? This is where the idea of a one-world government starts to wriggle its way into the conversation. Okay, let's break this down. What do we even mean by one-world government? It's a single, unified governing body for the entire planet. Think of it like the United Nations on steroids with actual teeth. This global entity would have the power to make and enforce laws across borders. There are many different models for how a one-world government could function. Some envision a more democratic system with elected officials. Others propose a technocratic approach with experts making decisions. So, why are we even talking about this? It's 2024, and stranger things have happened. The idea of a one-world government speaks to a growing sentiment that the current system isn't cutting it. We're facing global challenges that need coordinated solutions. Climate change doesn't care about borders. Pandemics don't respect immigration laws. The global economy is so interconnected that a sneeze in one country can give the world a financial cold. The potential benefits of a unified global system are tantalizing. Imagine a world without war, where resources are shared equitably. It sounds utopian, right? But there's a flip side. Concerns about liberty, diversity, and power concentration arise. Could a one-world government address the world's problems or create new challenges? All right, let's talk about something everyone has an opinion on: healthcare, or as they call it in some countries, healthcare. The current system, if you can even call it that, is a patchwork quilt of wildly varying quality and affordability. You've got your socialized systems, your private insurance models, and then those places where good luck getting a doctor to even look at you unless you're carrying a suitcase full of cash. It's a mess. Now imagine a world where everyone, and we mean everyone, has access to the same standard of healthcare. No more medical bankruptcies, no more geographic lotteries determining your life expectancy. A world where a kid in rural India has the same chance of seeing a specialist as a tech mogul in Silicon Valley. It sounds pretty great on paper, right? And that's precisely the kind of promise that a one-world government dangles in front of us. A single pill to cure the world's ills? Not so fast. But hold on a second, because as with most things, the devil's in the details. Who decides what that universal standard of healthcare looks like? Who gets to choose between funding cutting-edge cancer research or providing basic sanitation in developing nations? These are massive, ethically thorny questions with no easy answers. And let's not forget about the potential for bureaucratic nightmares. Can you imagine trying to navigate a single global healthcare system? Waiting on hold with some international agency just to get your prescription refilled? It sounds like a recipe for frustration and inefficiency on a scale never before witnessed by humankind. Bridging the gap from disparity to equity? However, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Despite the potential downsides, the idea of a more equitable global healthcare system is undeniably appealing. Imagine a world where resources are pooled and medical expertise is shared freely across borders. Doctors without borders wouldn't need to exist because borders wouldn't be a barrier to treatment. Pandemics, like the one we're still arguably clawing our way out of, could be met with a swift and coordinated global response. Research and development of new drugs and treatments could be streamlined, potentially leading to breakthroughs at a pace we can currently only dream of. So yeah, the potential upsides are pretty massive. The price of uniformity, losing local flavor in medicine? But then there's that other nagging question: what about cultural differences and traditional healing practices? Would a one-world government mean a one-size-fits-all approach to medicine, potentially erasing centuries of knowledge and practices from different cultures? Would we lose the human touch, the localized understanding of health and wellness that's so deeply ingrained in many societies? These are not insignificant concerns. They speak to the very heart of what makes us human, our unique traditions, and our connection to our heritage. It's a delicate balancing act, weighing the potential for progress with the preservation of cultural identity. And it's a debate that's only going to get more heated as we delve deeper into the potential ramifications of a one-world government on our lives. Money talks, but in what language? The currency conundrum. Money makes the world go round. The promise of money, the fear of not having enough, and the endless pursuit of those little paper rectangles or digital blips. It's a system we rely on. But what if we had a one-world government? Does the euro get its moment? Or do we all start using Bitcoin? Or invent a new global currency like the Earth Credit or Unidollar? The logistics are mind-boggling. Exchange rates disappear, but what about economic disparities? Do we level the playing field or maintain the status quo? It's a tightrope walk with enormous stakes. One bank to rule them all, financial stability or stagnation. With a single global currency comes the need for a single global bank, right? Imagine a world without the Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, or those cryptic institutions with names like the Bank for International Settlements. Instead, we'd have one superbank to rule them all, setting global interest rates, controlling the flow of capital, and presumably employing an army of accountants to keep track of it all. On the one hand, this could lead to greater financial stability. No more rogue nations manipulating currencies or reckless banks triggering global meltdowns. But on the other hand, would we be sacrificing economic dynamism for a bland homogeneity? Would innovation be stifled by a one-size-fits-all approach to monetary policy? It's a classic trade-off between security and freedom, and there's no easy answer. The global wallet redistributing wealth or fueling inequality. Here's where things get really interesting, and by interesting, we mean potentially terrifying. A one-world government would have unprecedented power to redistribute wealth. Imagine a global tax system that takes from the richest nations and individuals and invests in developing countries, eradicating poverty and creating a more equitable world. It sounds like something out of a socialist utopia, right? But hold your horses, comrades. There are two sides to every coin. What's to stop this all-powerful government from becoming corrupt, funneling resources to favored regions or industries? What about individual ambition and the motivation to succeed? Would a world without economic competition descend into a stagnant, uninspired dystopia? These are the kinds of questions that keep philosophers and economists up at night, and frankly, they should probably keep you up too. Section 4. Your money, their rules. Navigating a new economic order. Imagine waking up to a one-world government and new currency. What does this mean for you, the average Joe or Jane? Brush up on global economics. Understanding the new financial system is crucial. And what about financial privacy? Would a global government access all your transactions? These are real concerns, highlighting trade-offs between security and liberty. Section 1. One world, one job market. Dream or nightmare? Okay, let's talk jobs, shall we? That thing that pays for, well, life in all its messy glory. In our current world, job markets are about as unified as a bag of cats at a dog park. You've got your booming tech hubs, your struggling manufacturing towns, and everything in between. Throw in language barriers, visa restrictions, and the ever-present threat of outsourcing. And navigating the global job market can feel like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. Now imagine a world without any of those barriers. One giant interconnected job market where you can theoretically apply for any position, anywhere in the world. Sounds pretty great for those fluent in Mandarin and Python, right? But what about everyone else? Would a global job market level the playing field, or would it simply exacerbate existing inequalities? Section 2. The rise of the global gig economy. Freelancing without borders. One potential consequence of a one-world government is the rise of a truly global gig economy. We're already seeing this trend with platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, but imagine a world where those platforms are the norm, connecting freelancers with clients across continents seamlessly. No more visa applications, no more currency exchange headaches, just pure, unadulterated global competition for every task imaginable. On the one hand, this could be incredibly empowering, allowing individuals to leverage their skills and talents on a global scale. A graphic designer in Argentina could land a dream project for a tech startup in Berlin without ever leaving their home office. But what about worker protections, fair pay, and the potential for exploitation in a borderless job market? These are questions that would need to be addressed, and quickly, in a world where the lines between employee and independent contractor become increasingly blurred. Section 3. Skills versus location. Will talent trump geography? One of the most significant potential impacts of a one-world government on the job market is the decoupling of skills from location. In a world where physical borders are less relevant, your ability to do the job becomes more important than where you happen to live. This could be a game changer for people in developing countries, providing access to opportunities that were previously unimaginable. Imagine a world where a brilliant programmer in rural India can command the same salary as their counterpart in Silicon Valley, simply because their skills are in high demand. It's a future where talent trumps geography, and meritocracy reigns supreme. Of course, this also means increased competition for everyone. You're no longer just competing with your neighbors for jobs, you're competing with the entire world. Talk about pressure. Section 4. The human cost of unification, winners and losers in the global workforce. Let's not sugarcoat it. A one-world government and its impact on the job market would create winners and losers. Some industries would flourish, while others would wither on the vine. Some workers would thrive in this new globalized landscape, while others would struggle to adapt. The transition would be messy, complex, and potentially quite painful for many. Imagine entire sectors being automated or outsourced as companies seek the most cost-effective labor force. Imagine the cultural clashes and communication breakdowns that would inevitably arise in a truly global workforce. These are not insignificant challenges, and they highlight the human cost of such a radical shift in the global order. It's a reminder that while the idea of a one-world government might sound appealing on paper, the reality would be far more complicated, with real consequences for real people. So, there you have it. We've taken a whirlwind tour through the potential upsides and the potential utter chaos of a one-world government, from your doctor's office to your bank account to, well, the very existence of your job. It's a lot to process, right? And frankly, if your head isn't spinning a little, you're not paying attention. This isn't just some abstract thought experiment. It's a conversation about the very fabric of our global society and how we choose to move forward in an increasingly interconnected world. The big question, the one that keeps popping up like a persistent telemarketer, is this: can we achieve global unity without sacrificing the very things that make us unique? Our cultures, our values, our right to occasionally be completely irrational. It's a delicate balancing act, and there's no easy answer. It's like trying to herd cats, only those cats are entire nations with nuclear weapons and a penchant for competitive online gaming. The truth is, we're venturing into uncharted territory here. A one-world government isn't just a different political system. It's a paradigm shift on a scale that humanity has never attempted before. It's full of what-ifs and maybes and enough uncertainty to make even the most seasoned fortune teller throw up their hands in defeat. Will a single, unified government bring about an era of peace and prosperity, or will it devolve into a bureaucratic nightmare of epic proportions? Will we find a way to bridge cultural divides and economic disparities, or will we simply create new forms of inequality and oppression? These aren't just academic questions. They're the very real dilemmas that we, as global citizens, will need to grapple with in the coming years. Now, we're not here to tell you what to think. Frankly, we're not even sure what we think half the time. But what we can tell you is this: stay informed. Don't just accept the headlines or the latest conspiracy theory swirling around the internet. Dig deeper, ask questions, challenge assumptions, because the future of our planet, for better or worse, will be shaped by the choices we make today. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, by having these difficult conversations, by engaging in thoughtful debate and challenging each other's perspectives, we can find a way forward that doesn't involve either a global dictatorship or a fiery apocalypse. Hey, a little optimism never hurt anyone, right? So, is a one-world government the answer to all our problems? A magic bullet to solve climate change, end poverty, and finally get everyone on the same page about the metric system? Probably not. But is it a concept worth considering, debating, and maybe even, dare we say, cautiously optimistic about? Absolutely. The future is unwritten, and the choices we make today will determine the course of human history. So, let's make sure those choices are informed, thoughtful, and maybe even a little bit brave. After all, we're all in this together, whether we like it or not. And that in itself is a pretty powerful realization.